Hi, it's Joyce Pollard, Prosperity Life Coach, helping millennial women to rebuild a better life and show up as the prosperous woman that God intended you to be. So in this video today, we are talking about how I was able to obtain an 800 credit score. And my score has been at about 800 for over a year now. And I'm sharing some tips, hacks, and secrets in this video that helped me to get there. And I've been having talks with my boss friends and people who have an 800 credit score. I noticed some similarities. So if you are someone who wants to get an 800 credit score, tune in, keep listening. So first, let's talk about the current state of the world. Like, everything is going up. The cost of living is going up. Real estate is going up. Like, everything is going up, and our pay is not. It's not at the same rate of inflation. So basically that means that our buying power, what we could do with, maybe $100,000 5 years ago, it's not the same. So one of the ways that we're going to be able to at least, keep up with inflation and what's going on is by making sure that our credit score is at a great place, which I want to say would be 750 or above. But 800, like that's the big league. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing how to get an 800 credit score. So first of all, when I was younger, like, I didn't even really pay attention to credit as much. But as I got older, I realized the leverage that credit brought, where I was able to go to a store and get a laptop so I could do my schoolwork for college and not have to pay anything down. So literally, I'm like, y'all gonna let me walk out the store, get this laptop, and not give y'all any money, and y'all just, on a promise to pay. And if I don't pay, y'all not gonna come get this laptop back. So that in itself was scary, because that means that it had to take a lot of discipline. It had to take like a lot of, discipline for me to not go over and above these people credit limits. So credit, I don't believe is taught enough in schools, and I don't feel like our parents stress enough the importance of getting and maintaining good credit. Because I know a lot of times people will say, you know what, I'll pay whenever I feel like it. They're not going to get my money. And we don't realize that, yeah, you had a $300 medical bill, but now it's dropped your credit score, and now it's hurting you for years to come. So like, make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. Is this worth it? If you are someone who sees yourself leveling up in life, who wants to purchase a home, who wants to drive a nice car, who might want a certain type of job, your credit is a reflection of who you are and the decisions that you make. And you're being judged by it every day, even if you don't realize it, because you have an insurance credit score. You have a credit score if you want to purchase a car, if you want to purchase a home. Like, all of those different categories look at your credit differently, but they're still assessing who you are. Okay, so here we go. Sharing tips that, and I wrote some notes down because, I'll get sidetracked real easily. So number one, if you want an 800 credit score, no late payments. Oftentimes, I find that a lot of people who are paying things late, it's not because they don't have the money, it's because they don't have systems and routines, and they don't have the discipline. So if you want an 800 credit score, what you're going to need to start doing is figuring out how are you going to organize your finances. I prefer to do it online. I use Google Docs. I will create a blog post on tshsociety.com if you want to see some of the ways that you're able to organize. I know some people use Mint or these online services. I use Google Sheets, but it's almost like an Excel spreadsheet. I used to do things on paper a lot, because it's something magical about just like writing something down. But yeah, so you can write it on paper, whether or not you're going to do it digitally or you're going to do it physical. Keep track of your finances. No late payments. Number two, in order to get an 800 credit score, you're going to have to use your credit. Oftentimes people say, oh, they were taught, and we have to break what we've been taught on only using credit cards for emergencies, and no, that's what you have an emergency fund for. Credit cards are used to leverage your money. Do not use your own money. Stop using your debit card. Stop using your debit card. Like, I want you to use your credit for everything. Everything you would normally purchase. If you're going to the gas station, if you're going to the grocery store, if you're going out to eat, use your cards. Like, literally, I'm down to the point where I know that there's one credit card I use when I buy stuff off Amazon. There's another credit card that I use for groceries and for at the gas station, and there's another card that I use when I go out to eat, because I know which cards are going to give me 2x points, 3x points, or 5x points for my purchases. And some credit cards will actually give you an incentive and say, okay, well, if you purchase at Chili's this month, then you're going to get like 10% back in points of what you purchased. So if I had a choice to go to Chili's or to go to Applebee's, I'm gonna go to Chili's because I know that I'm gonna get paid, to eat. So look, they have so many rewards, so many tools out there. We got to play the game. You got to pay to play. You got to put yourself in position to win. And it doesn't take a lot of work, but it does take strategy, okay? So you're going to put your debit card away and you're going to charge your credit card, okay? And next, you're going to diversify. So the way that I was able to get an 800 credit score was by making my credit score sexy, like making my credit report sexy, which means that I had a house, I had a car, I had credit cards, I had student loans. So when you're able to have credit in different categories, that makes you a more balanced person. So if someone had 4 credit cards, it would take them more work to get to an 800 credit score versus someone who had a house, who had a car, who had maybe student loans, who had a personal loan, because it shows that you can balance and manage different types of debt, whether it's revolving, whether it is a line of credit, whether it is a closed, like secured credit card. You have to be able to manage different types of debt. And number 4, this is a bonus. I was gonna share 3 tips, but because I like you, I'm gonna share the 4th one. Keep your utilization below 10%, okay? So now, I know that sometimes it's hard, like if you only have a $1,000 credit limit. This goes back to point number 2, use the credit card, okay? The more you use the card, the more it shows that, okay, you're using the card, you have the money to pay it back, so the credit card companies will trust you with more money. Like personally, I've never called a creditor and asked them for a credit line increase, because I'm gonna tell you that, yes, sometimes they will give you the credit line increase, but I've never had to call, because one, when I kept using the card, they raised the limits. Number 2, when I log into my account, they'll be like, oh, did your income? Do you got more money? Like, what's going on? And they'll literally ask me like 5 questions, and they'll be like, congratulations, here's your new limit. So personally, everybody's not going to agree with me. I've never called, and I will never call for a credit line increase. So number 4, the bonus is keep your utilization below 10%. So people will say your utilization should be 30% or less, but if you want to make it above 700, if you want to make it closer to 800, keep your utilization below 10%. And let me tell you this, the utilization is rated based on what your card balance is at the closing statement date, which means, why not, like, number 1, you don't have to wait for the credit card due date to make the payment. Number 2, you don't have to only pay the minimum amount due. Please, 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 even if you have to pay $5 extra, do not only pay the minimum due, because if you're only paying the minimum due, then no. So if you're using the strategy that I'm talking about, where you're going to stop using your debit card and you're going to only use your credit card in order to raise your credit limits and make your credit sexy so that you can get to 800, don't even look at that minimum payment due. I want you to look at this. Either divide how much you owe by 3 or by 2. and pay a portion of it. So if you owe $1,000, no, if you have a $1,000 credit limit, pay $300. Or if your balance was $500, pay $250, or pay like $175. But pay a good portion of it so you can show that, hey, I'm responsible. I know I charged this and I'm gonna pay it back, because the minimum amount due doesn't really help you. So like I said, you don't have to worry, don't have to wait for the due date, and don't pay the minimum due. All right, so let's review. Number 1, no late payments. Number 2, no debit cards. You're going to charge everything on your credit card that you would normally charge on a weekly basis, and even every Saturday or every Friday you can make a payment towards your credit card. Like, you don't have to wait for the statement, and especially with online pay, like, you can pay as many times as you want. But of course, you know, I don't mind letting the credit card companies get a little, you know, bit of interest here and there, because I know that I was able to leverage, and I know that if it wasn't for them allowing me to borrow the money, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I'm gonna let them get a little bit of change, not too much money, but they're gonna get something in return. And you want to diversify. If you only have credit cards, maybe try getting a personal loan from your bank. And if you have a CD account, sometimes they'll let you, you know, use the CD account as collateral. So if you don't pay the loan back, then they'll just take the money from the CD. But we ain't gonna have to worry about that, because you're gonna pay your bills on time, and you're gonna pay your bills. You're gonna pay the money back. Okay, so there you have it. How I was able to obtain and maintain an 800 credit score. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you need any help with your credit, whether it is your inability to get your credit limits up, if you're unable to like remove negative items from your credit report, if you're being denied for credit, I'm the girl to talk to. Because guess what? It is time for prosperity. It is time for you to define what prosperity looks like for yourself and get your credit leveled up. Okay, and remember, like, comment, and subscribe for this video. And remember to be grateful for what you have, go after what you want, and that's all. Ta-ta. Thank you for watching.